Hi everyone, it's me. I'm back, Dee with the Enabling Colorist here, and I want to thank you first for joining me and watching my videos. Thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are incredible and have been so amazing, and I love bringing you these videos because, well, I love coloring like everybody else, and I love sharing, so why not? So I want to say thank you again, and this video, I did one video already of completed pages from years and years ago, and I'm going to continue on with some of my completed pages. Now, all these pages, like I've said, I've taken them out of the books and put them in plastic sleeves. I can't remember dates because I never wrote them down when I first started coloring. I do remember the artist, most of the artists, and most of the books I remember where they came from, but please forgive me if I don't remember where they came from. Again, this is going back about 10 years worth of coloring, so please forgive me, and I really hope you enjoy what you see, and we'll get into it. So we'll start with a stack of them because I literally have binders and binders full. Let me see, because I don't want that glare. There we go. Okay. So this picture was a Heather Valentin picture, and this is when I first started using like white Posca pen and chalk pastels. I was learning as well. And yeah, this is when I outlined with the pencil, and I colored in lightly with the pencil as well. At the beginning, I actually started using gel pen, and I think, yeah, gel pen. It was mostly gel pen. And then I went to my colored pencils, which are my medium of choice. But this was a Heather Valentin picture. This one was a Christina McAllister picture from one of her books, and it was all done in pencil as well. Yeah, I can't remember what book it was from. I only have a couple of Christina McAllister books, but I actually enjoyed doing this. And the funny thing is I can't stand coloring flowers. And back when I first started, I colored a lot of flowers, a lot of floral stuff, and quite a bit of mandala looking stuff, so, which is weird. This one is, I believe, a Sabine Designs from her Easter Joy book. Again, this is when I was learning how to shade and blend, and yeah, I didn't do backgrounds at the time, so as you can see, there's no background, or I didn't do too much shading, but. And this one, oh goodness, I can't remember, but it got a lot of love on Facebook when I posted this years ago. And this is when I got my chalk pastels. At first I was playing with them, as you can see, but again, there's a lot of flowers. And I honestly can't remember, but oh goodness, I can't remember. This one was from We Color. It was by Sandra Jean Pierre, and it was a freebie picture on Facebook, and yeah, that was pencil as well. As you can see, there's not really much shading going on or anything, but. And this one is a Tabitha L. Barnett picture from her, I think it's her Easter book, and yeah, I loved doing this little guy. I had a lot of fun coloring him, but as you can see, I did like and I still love all these kinds of colors. I still use them in my pictures. This one is a sassy coloring picture, and I think I just colored it just to color it, but I mean, I started using paint pens in this as well. But it is what it is, right? We all learn. This is a Kelly Horton page. I loved coloring her. I love Kelly Horton's stuff. I just haven't colored much of it, honestly. But I have all her books, which is funny. And I'm one of her biggest fans. This was all colored pencil and my white paint pen. As you can see, I did some blending and tried to do a little bit of shading here and there. Yeah, no, not really much of a background like I do nowadays, but... And this is another mandala. This is from Tabby's, one of Tabitha Barnett's books. It's one of her mandala books. And this was for a split coloring challenge in a group. And you had to use like ice colors on one side and like summery colors on the other, and that's how that turned out. So I liked it, and I did the background. I did chalk pastel in the background. And this one was a Edwina McNamee picture from I want to say it's one of her Dreamlings books. I can't remember which one. I believe it's the first one. But again, there's lots of florals. And me now, coloring, I'll avoid florals. One of my favorites that I colored years ago was this one. And it's from Jenny Luann's Chibi Doodle Whimsy Characters Volume 2. And I absolutely loved coloring this because the colors, I liked being different. Everything had to be opposite to what you colored, and I absolutely loved the way this turned out. Yeah, colored pencils. I believe at the time it was Prisma Premier Scholars I used when I started using pencils. This one is another Sassy coloring page. It's from her Fairy Tales book. I had fun with it. Again, as you can see, I was starting to use, learning to use my paint pen, so it was kind of a little scratchy. I went over, I think that, yeah, this is when I first got alcohol markers, and I tried them out for the first time, and yeah, I learned a lot from that, like going over the lines and stuff, so... Overall, it turned out pretty cute, but we learn as we go, right? Another mandala from Tabby's Tangled Art, or Tabitha Barnett. And this is from her... Oh, goodness, what is the name of that book? I'm sorry. It's from her sun one, Sun, Moon, Stars. It's like an astrology one, but... Chalk pastels in the background, of course, and colored pencils. These weren't Prisma Scholars. These were a set of pencils I got. Oh, goodness. And I can't remember. It was one of my very first sets that I got. It might have been Crayola, too, but... This one is another Sabine design from her Easter Joy book. And I won a challenge with this picture. And I had fun with it. And I used alcohol marker, actually, on the egg. And some colored pencil and chalk pastels. This one is an Edwina McNamee one. I loved doing this one because I love unicorns and rainbows. And yeah. I had so much fun coloring. It was easy, but it was fun to do. I was trying to make the unicorns almost seem like My Little Pony, because I grew up with My Little Pony. And I used paint pens, I believe. No, I used pencil to outline the clouds and just did a lighter, and that's when I started shading and stuff, so. That one doesn't have one in the back. This was this wasn't a Julia Rivers one. Oh, I spilled something on my pages, I'm sorry. Yeah, this was a Julia Rivers one, and it was from a doodle book that she does. I can't remember which one. It could be Monster Invasion. It could be, I can't remember. But I did have fun with it. I love my doodle books because you can just throw color in wherever and it still turns out. So, yay! My coloring style has changed a little bit from what I used to do. I used to just straight color because it was for my anxiety. This one was also from the same Julia Rivers book, and I loved doing this one as well. It was so fun. And again, you can see I didn't do backgrounds at the time. But yes, my coloring style has changed a little bit, and I have all the books from all these artists I'm sharing with you, but my taste in pictures and my taste in artists has changed as well. So, but I still revert back to a lot of these artists. This one is an Edwina McNamee page as well from another Dreamlings book. I used colored pencil and alcohol marker, and I think that's all I used. Again, no background, as you can see. This is a Heather Valentin picture. I was trying to give the little angel kind of like a glowing effect, but it was just a simple little page. I just straight colored her with pencil. And the background was done with pencil too, these parts here. So, yeah. This one I had a lot of fun as well. I was trying to do a certain technique that I had seen. It didn't work that well, but it did what I wanted it to do. But this is an Edwina McNamee page as well. I want to redo this page, actually. I have it printed off to get redone. But I had fun with it when I did it because, again, it was all about de-stressing. This one is a Hannah Lynn one. And I think it's the Thumbelina page. When I colored it, it was straight coloring, and I loved how it turned out. And now there's a lot of things that I would do differently, but it is what it is, right, guys? This is another Heather Valentin picture, and I think it's from a little dragon book she had. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But all done in colored pencil. And this one was from, I think it's a Thania McArdle picture. And I did this in colored pencil and straight colored her. Pardon me, let me grab a drink. And this one is another, I don't know where I got this from. It was a coloring book I got from, it wasn't Walmart. It was a craft store we had up here. Crayola store or something. And this was like a little book, and this is what was in it. But this was like, you split your page into thirds, and you colored using, so all shades of pink, all shades of blue, all shades of purple, or whatever color. 3 colors you chose, but it had to be shades of those 3 colors. And that's how that one turned out. I had fun. It was interesting to do. And this one is a, Lisa Frank picture. And yeah, it was photocopied actually from a coloring book, so that's why it has like this gray tinge to the paper. And the pencil didn't work the way I wanted it to because the paper was like that grayish tinge, so it gave it the look it gave it. It's not as bright as I wanted it to be, for sure, because Lisa Frank is very bright. I went for those bright colors, but because of the paper, it muted it all. But turned out pretty cute. Another Heather Valentin one. I drew this. I colored this. I think it was like a Mexican challenge or something, and we had to use the colors of Mexico, I think it was, or something, but that's how I colored this little guy, and I added little swirls with my markers that I had at the time. Straight colored, nothing too extravagant. And this one, oh my goodness, this is actually from last year or the year before, and this is from Sassy Coloring's Gnome Sweet Gnome book. It was the first picture I colored in it, and yeah. Turned out alright. I liked how it turned out. It got to be the group page for a long time, actually. So, Sassy is one of my closest friends, so I absolutely adore her. This one was a Bennett Klein picture. I'll have to do a video of my Bennett Klein books collection that I have. I don't have a lot of them, but I have a few of them. And this is one of them, and I loved how she turned out at the time. And again, you can see all the flowers. I didn't mind doing florals back then. Now, not so much. This is a Heather Elliston picture, and yeah, I really liked coloring her too. I had fun with her and like learning how to shade. I went with the grayscale that it was, so I did the darker colors where the dark was and the light where the light was. Turned out alright. Took me quite a while because I was learning at the time. And I wanted to make it perfect. Obviously, we can't make everything perfect, but that was what I was going for. But yeah, I really liked how she turned out. This is Farmer Pickles and the Chickens by Heather Valentin. And yeah, I used a blender pencil on this, and I think I used a little bit of crayon, honestly. Yeah. That's how he turned out anyways. And this is a Lydia Hess picture, and I straight colored this one too. As you can see, I had no control over my chalk. I just kind of went everywhere with it, so you win some. Yeah, I mean, you learn as you go. And this is another stack here. A lot of these I just, like I said, straight colored at the beginning. It's still about de-stressing for me, but now I don't know, I'm a little bit pickier, I guess, when I color. Another picture by Jenny Luann. It's from Chibi Doodle Whimsy Characters, the first one. And as you can see, I didn't have a blender pencil at the time, really. And I just kind of did what I did. I can't remember the book I got this from, but I really liked it. It was one of my first coloring books that I got on Amazon. Before I learned about, you know, people who were knocking off other artists' work and stuff. So that was that one. This one was from a Kawaii Unicorns book I had. I don't have it anymore, but again, straight coloring. As you can see, I had that death grip on my pencil at the time, because the colors are so dark and like, yeah. And this was, wow, this was an Alina Lazareva. She was one of my first artists that I colored grayscale. I didn't like how it turned out at the time, and I still don't like it. But this is where I learned about grayscale. It kind of scared me for a bit, but then I got back into it. Yeah. I used pencil on this, and yeah, I don't know. Another grayscale picture by Bennett Klein. Koalas are my favorite animals, so I wanted to color it and do it justice. Didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it to, but this little guy turned out pretty good. And the one on the top there. The other ones, I'm still iffy about. And the background I'm iffy about. I wish I would have done it different, but... Another Bennett Klein one. Again, I wish the color choices were different. But I just kind of picked colors and went with it. This is from a Jade Summer book. I can't remember. It's one of the Kawaii Girls books. And as you can see, same as all the other pictures, I straight colored and did a little bit of highlighting and shading to what I knew how to do. And I've learned throughout that. This was straight coloring with pencils. I had my death grip on this one. And yeah, even the eyes are colored pencil. Again, this was from a tattoo book by Bendon, I believe. And a Hannah Lynn one. Hannah Lynn was also one of my favorites when I first started coloring. I did a lot of her pictures. And I had seen a lot of people coloring her stuff, and I tried to mimic it at the time because I wanted to be as good as everybody else. And this is how they turned out. This is another Hannah Lynn one. And yeah, I really wanted to do it justice and try to be as good as everybody else because I was comparing my work to a lot of people. And it wasn't working, so I got very discouraged at this point. But I kept trucking through and trucking on, and you know, I got to where I am today, and in a couple years I'll be a little further. She actually, I really liked how she turned out. Like when I first started coloring, I really liked how she turned out. It was one of my favorites. And this is another one of my favorites as well that I've colored by her. The only thing I would do different is change the color of the kangaroo and the little mound here, or rock she's sitting on. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing them. Just, again, I got really discouraged at a lot of it. Pardon me. I'm so sorry, guys. This is another Bennett Klein one. And I loved the color choices I used in this. I wish I would have done this differently. I didn't have paint pens at the time to do all this, so I used pencil and didn't work the way I wanted it to. But one of my favorites that I've done by Hannah Lynn was this one. Again, there's that death grip on that pencil, guys. And it hurt my hands quite a bit. Another Edwina McNamee one I did. I wasn't overall happy with the way I had the background done, but looking back at these is crazy because I thought these were, you know, rocking when I posted them. And a lot of people commented, so it really boosted my self-esteem when I colored. This is a Heather Valentin one. I believe it's from her. Oh, goodness. It's one of my favorite books by her, too. Oh, her peculiar characters. This is a Sherry Baldy one, I believe. Yeah, Sherry Baldy, and again, lots of flowers, because I went for the flowers for some reason at that time. This was Gemini. This was her Zodiac book. Jenny Luann picture. It was for her Halloween book. And I straight colored this, as you can see. It's kind of cool to see how far I've come, honestly. Edwina McNamee, I used my glitter paint pens. Or like stickles almost. They were like glitter glue pens on this. And straight pencil with that one. This was a Jade Summer one. And at the time I loved how it turned out as well. Like I said, at the time when I was doing all these, I thought, you know, they were amazing. This is a Heather Valentin one. It's from her Trolls book, one of her Trolls books. And I thought he was super cute. That dopey look. I don't know. And his hair looks like broccoli. This is from Jade Summer's Mermaids book. And yeah, no backgrounds, no paint pens, none of that. Another Jenny Luan one. And this was her Nutcracker book. And again, straight colored with pencils. Nothing too. This one was from an Owls coloring book. I still have it. It's called Magical Owls. And there's a lot of cute pictures. And I bought it because of the bold lines. I don't know what it was about the book. It just drew me to it because of the big, bold lines. Straight colored this one just like the others. I think that's what my style was then. Which just straight color, or, you know, I would outline or whatever in a darker color, color in with just a lighter shade. And that was my style then. This was an Edwina McNamee one. What book was it? I think it's an Owls book she has. My very first Edwina McNamee book. One of my favorites that I did from Jade Summer, Hannah Lynn. Yeah, no highlights in the eyes, nothing. And another Sherry Baldy one. I think it's from her Zodiac book. Ah, my pages are sticking because something spilled on the plastic sheets. And yeah, I did a little bit of shading and highlighting. And another one of my favorites that I did by Hannah Lynn. I loved this picture. I'm going to redo it and see. I'd love to redo a lot of these pictures and see the major differences, honestly. The Queen of Hearts by Hannah Lynn. There's a lot I would change in a lot of these if I were to color them again. Another Heather Valentin one. No background, obviously. This was my first Jasmine Beckett Griffith picture. And when I got this book, I was so excited because I had seen so many people coloring. And I so wanted to mimic what everybody else did because they were so incredibly beautiful. And when I did this, I was just so discouraged with myself, with the color choices, with everything. But again, I kept on going and kept on practicing. This is a Sherry Baldy seahorse. And as you can see, my colors are usually the same. Another Hannah Lynn one from her Tattoo Beauties one. I have a lot of these on PDF, so I can redo them. This is one of my first Kirby Rosanus pictures, and I wish I had done more highlights on the grenade, but I was just going for the straight dark green grenade color. And I had fun doing it, but I wish I would have done a background on it. And there's another Jasmine Beckett Griffith picture. Still wasn't happy with my color choices. I thought I'd, try again. And yeah, no. This was I think this was from August Reverie by Chintaka Harath. And I thought it was pretty good when I colored it. And again, from that one book that I got before I realized there were, people stealing other people's works from Amazon, one of my first Amazon books, I colored this one, like the one with the unicorn. I honestly can't remember the name of the book, but I colored that one. This one was from Surreal Fantasy by Kanuko Ugoso, I think. And this was the one I colored from that one. And I went according to the grayscale with the darker and the lighter colors. I think she turned out pretty cute with my color choices. Yeah. Again, you can see Hannah Lynn was my go-to at the time. I really liked the coloring on her, like the pink and the blue and the yellow. Yeah. Obviously, this is from 2018. This is Unicorns book by Jade Summer. And I just started using my paint pen. It didn't go the way I planned it. Let's just put it that way. But all of these were used with colored pencil, and most of them were either the Crayolas, or they were the Staedtlers, or my Prisma Scholars are the three pencils that I had. That's the book I was talking about. It's called Lady Heather's Curiosities and Peculiarities book, I guess. And yeah. This is one of my other Jade Summer Mermaids pictures. I enjoyed coloring it. I think it turned out great considering the point I was on my journey, honestly. This was another one by Julia Rivers, and I thought this one turned out really cute too. I wish I had done backgrounds back then, though. I didn't do any backgrounds. And this one was from the Chintaka Harath one. I had seen people do, color the sun or the moon through the clouds and then the reflection on the water. And that was the idea I was going for at the time, but not so, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But this is another Bennett Klein picture, and yeah, I really liked the way the colors turned out. Again, considering the point I was, at the point I was at in my coloring journey, compared to some others who had been coloring for years before me. So this is from Chibi Doodle Whimsy Characters Volume 2 by Jenny Luan, and I absolutely loved how this one turned out. I wasn't worried about highlights and where the lights were, and I just colored it to where I thought I liked it, and it looked good, and I really still love it to this day. And this is a Kirby Rosanus book. It's from his Doodle Invasions, and the color choices are alright, but again, there's not a lot of shading and highlighting, so it was straight coloring. Another Jenny Luan one, and Chibi Doodle's Whimsy Characters. I guess it's alright. It's not bad. I've seen worse. I've had worse. I've shown worse in this video. But yeah, this is how that turned out. And this is one from Hannah Lynn. And the background, if I did color a background, it was a straight colored background with pencil. That's how she turned out. And we're almost done here, only a few more. This is a Jade Summer one of my favorites, but if I want to color her again, I will, and some things will be different. But overall, it turned out pretty cute. The way I saw her was Sabrina from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I wanted to do a little bit different, though, than what she looked like, so. And another Bennett Klein one. It was Bennett Klein, Kirby Rosanes, Jenny Luann, Sassy Coloring, Tabitha, and Hannah Lynn are the ones I would flock towards when I first started coloring. Another Hannah Lynn one, like I said. Color choices, not so great on my part, but at the time I thought, you know, it was pretty. Again, Hannah Lynn, one of my favorites I've colored because the colors, my favorite colors all in all. Even now, they're my favorite color combo. Another Hannah Lynn one. The Cheshire Cat, and that's what the look I was going for, were the colors of the Cheshire Cat. I think she turned out pretty good overall. And last one for this video is a Heather Valentin one from her Trolls book. As you can see, I was drawing like little things for the background, and I was going to come back to it, and I never did, so that's why those dots are there. I kind of lost momentum on this one, so. But those are, so far, with my other completed pages video, those are some of the pages I have colored from when I first started coloring. There's still a lot more. There's probably about 6 more videos to do to share with you guys, but I want to thank you for joining me and watching, and hopefully you liked what you saw. And yeah, until next time, everyone, thanks for watching. Bye.